Good morning, dieharders. Who's ready to live free or die hard? I am the Shogun. And this is S&W Experience Podcast, episode 73. I am joined by the Anime Witch, and for most of the episode, we will be covering Twilight and 50 Shades. Here we go.
Like, I understand him, but I also don't like him. And if I met him, we wouldn't be friends. He thinks too much of himself, and he thinks he's too special.
The guy's a creep. I mean, how many times did he break into a room and sniff her stuff and, like...
Yeah, you see, that is weird. Like, if he told me that, I would have called the police or something.
Or you could just, if you were Bella, you could just tell your dad. I mean, dude's a cop, after all. You know, he's got a shotgun, just like pop
True,
into
Bella
the...
was like,
Yeah.
she was risking things. She was like suicidal or something, because if somebody's telling you these things, you know, watching you make them feel this way, and the way he describes it is very bloody murder.
I have to just say something out of the gate. In these movies, especially the second one, Bella is pretty dumb. Just dumb. Like, the logic of, wait, when I was in danger the last time he came to save me, let me put myself in danger again. Maybe he'll show up. Like, what the...
Yeah, Bella is crazy. She's totally suicidal.
Yes. And Kristen Stewart is a beautiful woman, but this character is average as fuck. And yet everyone acts like she's the hottest thing since, I don't know, fucking Madonna.
It's not about that. I think it's because girls have been watching blonde bombshells in movies for too long. And they're being the main character. And Bella was average, different. Maybe she was more of a realistic representation of a teenage girl. Although she was made to be more childlike than I liked.
It's just absurd. Like, the new chick in town, and like everybody has eyes on her. Like, even the girls are looking. Like, you know that cliche, those like mean girls like whispering shit in corners and whatnot. Like, even they was looking.
Yeah.
Like, what? That is a lie.
Yeah, but like Bella wasn't like somebody to, she wasn't awe-inspiring. She wasn't like taking your breath away.
Exactly.
I mean, she was pretty, but like she was it's somebody I'd rather feel sorry for than think she's worth anything.
Yeah. And yet, for some reason, she's special. Everyone sees her as special somehow. This is like...
I don't think she's special. I think that Edward was just looking for somebody to rule and control.
Jeez, though. I don't...
And she was the one.
I don't think she had an alluring scent as much as it was like funky cologne or some shit. I think that was more it, because... like
I'm just saying, like, Edward is like an old vampire. He's like, he's romantic. He's, well learned. He used to learn medicine back in the day. You know what I mean? He's a sophisticated man.
He's not very bright, though.
Like, why would your soulmate be a teenage girl who gets scared of her own shadow? Like, I would be pissed if I, lived 100 years and built myself up and then they just give me this teenager that, doesn't know left from right.
It would make some... There's this show called Tale of the Nine-Tailed, where this immortal being kind of falls for this chick, and it's like, I mean, he's an immortal being. Like, surely he would have met his soulmate hundreds of years ago. It's explained that he did. The reason he's fawning over this chick now is because, she is the reincarnated version of the chick he met hundreds of years ago. That makes sense.
I actually read this before what you're saying. That's also kind of gross.
Yeah. How is that gross?
Listen, I just don't like the trope of 1,000 or 100-year-old men with teenage girls. It just seems weird.
I get that. It was gross. I mean,
So,
he's
like, if I had to write a vampire novel, and it was about some lovesick, romantic, sophisticated man, his soulmate would probably be another vampire that's maybe a century close to his, who also has her own struggles, and they try to find love or something like that. But, like, I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, what would you even talk about? Like, my 21-year-old self can't imagine speaking to an 18-year-old now. What did Edward even talk to Rana about?
I don't each other. I guess that's mostly what we see them doing, talking about each other and like asking, dude, okay, what's that guy thinking? What's that guy thinking? Just shit.
But that's weird.
Because like he can
And
read.
what does he even
Yeah.
think of her? Like, how are you supposed to have an intelligent conversation?
I think he was enticed by the idea, like, oh, I can read everybody's mind except yours. Like, just
But, like, what's really in that mind? I'm sure it's nothing special.
yeah, like you maybe you don't think maybe it's because there's nothing going on that you can't read her mind. You know, just saying,
Exactly.
man.
That's what I would think in the beginning. If I
Okay.
was a mind-reading vampire.
And even if you let's say you were like say you could read minds, and then along comes like this one guy whose mind you just can't read, would you really want to go over there and try to find out more, or would you just be like, oh well?
Wait. Number one, what would you be intrigued by that? I see it as a disadvantage. Like, why would I want to be with somebody after 100 years of reading minds who I can't read? I won't be able to understand them as well. I won't be. It'll be like a guessing game 90% of the time. I don't want to live like that.
Yeah. I mean, we live like that as
But yeah,
regular
was
people. Like, so
stupid.
yeah.
I don't know. I think there could have been a lot done with Twilight. Like, in general, the entire, like, have you watched Castlevania?
No, but I've seen the video games.
Yeah, okay, so it's about, like, it's an anime, but it's like about vampires. It has a very in-depth description of the vampire world and vampire politics and humans. It's like very established. I think that the Twilight universe is a very uncooked, recipe compared to other vampire-esque literature and movies I've watched.
Yes. I must.
It's like she could have done more with the universe.
Yeah. Instead of doing with like the basic, oh, here's a family of vampires. Oh, they're good. Don't worry about them. And here's these other vampires. They wear black clothes, have red eyes. They're clearly the bad guys. You know, just
But you know what you should watch? You should watch, they made an interview with the vampire. You remember that movie?
Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
Yeah, but now they made a series. Like, it's a revamp kind of thing. And I love the characters. I love Louis. His character is so more realistic. And it doesn't hold him up to a huge pedestal like in the movie.
Do they sparkle?
He's like a real character, you know what I mean? He has his faults and his good side. And the stack definitely has his faults, but like I think that's a good representation of love between vampires and people in general.
Yeah. And these
Which
ones
wasn't
do.
love.
And these ones don't sparkle when they hit the sun. Just.
Exactly, because they can't go out in the sun. I prefer that. You know what? Like, if I was a vampire or turned into a vampire, I wouldn't want to go out in the daylight anyway. Like, I like the trope of vampires not being able to be in the sun.
Yeah. I mean, there are
I
ways.
think Stephanie Meyer tried too much to invent a vampire and stray away from the traditional description.
Yeah, and the only way they die is if you rip the head off and set it on fire. Like, I'm pretty sure ripping the head off is enough. Like, setting it on fire feels like overkill. Like,
Yeah, I guess so. But I guess it's reference to the burning of witches back in the days.
and they're quick about it too. Like, they actually kill this one dude, and like after they rip the head off, they're like, "Quick! Like, I'll get the fire going. You get the like. Do y'all practice this shit? Just
No, it was a real
shit.
profession back in the day. Let me tell you, I once read a book called something about, I forgot the title, but yeah, it was basically about how people used to swindle like whole groups of people, like villagers, thinking they're monster hunters, witch hunters, and they even made like an entire book about it, of rules and things about how to kill these people. But the people were actually just like black sheep of towns and those kind of things. People that nobody really liked, or like a woman that inherited a lot of money, stuff like that. But people used to make a really big deal of it. Like you could have a career as a witch hunter or a monster hunter back in the day.
Some of the things that I remember hearing was like we're gonna tie stones to someone's foot and toss them in the lake. If they float back up, they're a witch. If they don't, like obviously
Yeah,
they're not
that's
coming back
true.
up. Like
But then you just killed an innocent person, and most of them probably drowned because obviously.
yeah, she's
So
oh
they were just killing innocent people, and they were like, "Ah, our bad. I
like
guess she
oh
wasn't to it.
yeah.
It's fine."
It's like oh well, like, we didn't like him anyway. It's
It
not a
was like
total
really
loss.
weird thing. Like they used to accuse people of like if somebody saw somebody picking some flowers and they didn't like it, they used to be like, "Witch, she's using the flowers in her witchcraft." Or if you had like a certain like birthmark or mole on your body, they used to call it a witch's teeth. And animals used to drink out of it or something like that.
Yeah.
People were weird back in the day. I don't know. Maybe they were just bored.
Due process wasn't a thing back then. The concept of a lawyer was just a pipe dream. Just
I really don't know. It just seems like the 19th and 18th century were just a big fever dream to people because the things they used to do were madness. Like even their medicine, like things, like cocaine used to be a medicine.
yeah, chocolate too.
Yeah, and peeing on people.
People still do that, you know, for like stings and whatnot. So
But yeah, you should really watch the interview with the vampire. I loved it. And
yeah,
they're gonna have another season because okay, I loved it, but I hated the ending because it was so unfulfilled. Like I felt unfulfilled in the end because it was an amazing story. I loved Claudia. Like in the movie, they kind of made Claudia too childlike. You know what I mean?
she is a
And it was
child.
kind of gross and uncomfortable to watch. But in the interview with the vampire series, she's like 14, but she like acts her age, and there's no weird relationships between her and Louis. More of a fatherly, and as she gets older, brotherly relationship.
That's something
There's
I
no
didn't.
weird things happening between him and her.
That is something I don't understand. How a character who is aware that this person isn't actually a kid, she just looks like one, she's actually hundreds of years old. Why do they still treat him like a kid? Just think about it.
Yeah, that's another thing because I guess that Lestat was a lot older than them. So I guess I don't know. He just felt like everyone was a child to him. I think he even thought Louis was like a child at some point. But Louis, especially, like he was like maybe 30 something when he was turned. Claudia was like 14 when she was turned. So it's like not that much of a difference. That's 15 years, you know what I mean? So as they age, like if I know a person that's how old am I? Like, that's 35 now. By the time I'm 30, they're going to be 45. That's still two adults. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
That whole dynamic between them. It was kind of gross and uncomfortable, but I really liked it in the series. And you get to see Armand, you know, that vampire lord guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up so much in the movie, but he could play a big role in season 2.
Yeah, that movie was like majority of that movie's cast was fine. I gotta be. Everyone was fine. Antonio
The
Banderas,
cast was
Tom Cruise,
amazing,
and
I have to say.
yeah, they're like, hey, who are the hottest people we can get for these parts? You know, well, I hear.
No, definitely. I love the aesthetic, like, you know, the look of the interview with the vampire, but like, that's where it stopped. Like, I liked their clothes. I liked Louis and Lestat's relationship. They were a bit manipulative at the end, but at the beginning, I thought it was fun and wonder, you know.
Also, you can't be a vampire and be ugly. Just no. What
Yeah,
are you
true.
doing?
Mm.
I remember
But
reading
like,
this
what I
thing.
also like about the series is that there's also a lot of representation. And like in the movie, Louis and the Stats relationship was kind of on the fence. Like, they weren't really a couple. You know what I mean? They didn't like put them together as a couple. But in the series, they make it very evident that they're a couple.
I mean, they couldn't do that. It was the 90s. It wasn't exactly, you know.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have good representation, not just that they're a couple, but also Louis is a black man, Claudia is a black woman, Lestat is a French white man, and he's the bad guy. So it's good, it's realistic, if you ask me.
It would be kind of racist if you had the stat be a black guy who's also the villain. Just it's kind of what they did with Wednesday. You know, in Wednesday there's not that many black characters, but all the black characters are the villain in some way.
Yeah, that's what I hate. Like, be realistic. Like, I like Bianca. She was really beautiful. I loved her, like, her siren character. And I don't know, they just made her a mean bitch for no reason. Like, I don't know, like, I liked her character. But I think they could have worked a bit more on her and Wednesday's relationship. But, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention her mother, they're putting her as like a cult leader. What even is that? That is white people stuff right there.
Fucking exactly. Just the mayor. The mayor is a black guy of a town that celebrates fucking some white sword dude. I feel like that.
I've never read about a person of color ever being a cult leader.
Fucking exactly. That's some white people shit. Just.
So like, I really don't. But like, I like the story and I like Wednesday's character. I like that they didn't make her so stand in the corner weirdly, like how they made her in the series. You know, remember that old series? She was just like,
You mean Addams Family?
And I like that she's very political and, you know, she speaks her mind about political issues. But I also like that they made her more socially awkward. They're just standoffish. Because that's what she is. She is a bit socially awkward. I like Wednesday a lot, but like, I didn't like the story that much. It was juvenile.
Didn't like the show.
Like, there was just no in-depth story plot or, you know, like, story in general. Like, I think they could have done a lot with the story. And Tim Burton, like, he's known for good story plots and good aesthetics. He just could have done more with Wednesday. I don't really like Tim Burton either, though. Because he said people of color and specifically black people don't fit his aesthetic. But I say wrong. But anyway, and he has a tendency to put black characters and POC characters in the roles, so that irritates me.
Yeah. I mean, once can be seen as a coincidence, but this is. I mean, this happens too often for this to be a coincidence, man. Just, you know.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I remember reading there was this guy on social media, he asked, like, how come whenever we see vampires in movies, they all live in big mansions, drive nice cars, and wear nice clothes? And someone replied, if you're over 200 years old and you're not, and you haven't used your vampiric powers to make money and live luxuriously, you should just step out into the sun at that point. Just you should just kill yourself. You're wasting your fucking life.
If I was a vampire, I'd be president of the world already.
Yeah.
I'd make it happen.
I'd be.
Like, why would you just, with all this power, just watch human beings just further corrupt the world and go about their stupid little lives? Wouldn't you want to make things right?
Honestly, I'd be content with just making myself rich somehow. Like, there's gotta be a way. Like this.
No, I feel like it was time for a proper purpose. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna rule the world one day.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like everybody's just gonna be like, oh well, I guess the president is a vampire now. I guess we just have to get used to that. Like, oh well. Yeah, but still. Onto the there was, what did I talk about? Oh yeah. I gotta ask. Moving on to back to the Twilight thing. What team were you on? During that whole Team Edward, Team Jacob.
Sorry, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. What did you ask?
What team were you on in regards to that whole Team Edward, Team Jacob thing?
Oh, what team I'm on? I'm on Team... you're gonna laugh at me. I'm on Team Marcus, Aro. I don't know. I like both of them.
Really? Both?
Listen to me. I'm weird, okay? When I watch The Lord of the Rings, there's really good-looking guys in it, like Legolas and Thranduil. No. I like Gandalf and Saruman.
Why?
I don't know. I just like old men with long beards and old men in general.
I don't think.
I don't know. I like Aro because he's kind of eccentric, and I feel like he doesn't even take his own job seriously. He's just there for laughs. What can I do today? What can I tell these people? Maybe I can strike some fear in them. And Marcus is just like there. Like, I feel like there's a lot going behind his mind. Behind his, like, silent, mysterious kind of front that he's putting up. And I feel like he's really sensitive behind all of that. Well, he didn't lose his wife, so I feel like he'd cry. I don't know. I like Marcus a lot. Kynes irritates me a bit. I think he's a bit arrogant and annoying, and yeah.
Yeah, I like Marcus too.
I like his action.
There's a scene in I think it's New Moon, where he's just like sitting there and he goes, "Can we get on with this already?" Or like, "Can we get this over with?" But just even he's fed up with this shit.
Oh, who wouldn't be?
Oh shit, dude. It's just like, I'm thousands of years old. I got better things to do than sit around watching this crap.
Especially, he's like, this is proper cheating drama. Like, I don't really want to be in this room right now. Can't we just eat her? I would probably eat Bella. I probably would. She's too annoying.
Also, I would like to draw attention. Speaking of like that whole family, they like hide in a high school, right? In an attempt to blend in with everybody. That is the worst. Fuck. That has to be the dumbest idea they could think of. Like, just the last.
Horrible. It's weird. I would not have wanted to ever go back to school for like the 20th time.
Like, seriously, why? Are you just obsessed with learning or something that you constantly go back to school every, like, 20 years or something? Like, why?
I don't know. They could have done better things with their time. I wonder if any of them like went to college and have degrees.
They
Probably.
probably from, like, hundreds of years ago, sitting in a
But
stack
how
somewhere.
like that? Shouldn't things be on your record?
Exactly.
And I mean, Paul is only a doctor. Like, how much power does he really have?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure people are gonna have questions once Dr. What's his face is around for 30 years and looks the same as he did when he was an intern. So
It's weird.
yeah, it's definitely.
I don't know, but Paula is also kind of good looking. If you like turn your head to the side.
If you put him in your peripheral vision, he's kind of good looking. That's some shade right there. Just.
I mean, yeah, like I don't really like Emmett. I'm not gonna lie, he's not my type at all, and he's too stupid.
There's an argument.
Jasper, I feel like would annoy me, so I'm definitely not Team Jasper. Like, he's weird. I like Alice though; she's cool.
Yeah, she's kind of. I'm not gonna lie, she is kind of cool. I wish we got more time with the character. You know.
Like I read this thing, and like I was curious about Alice's backstory, and she was actually accused of being a witch back in the day because she could actually have premonitions then, and she was put into like this mental hospital, which burned down, and Carlisle found her and turned her. But that's the story. It's kind of sad.
I mean, they all got. So, I'm sure everybody has some messed up backstory. Like nobody just like woke up one day and was like, "Hey, make me a vampire." And just like, I mean, Bella did. I mean, Bella did.
Bella to do that. Oh, I don't know. I just hate Bella's character.
I'm gonna be.
Sorry?
There's a scene where she asked the Edward to bite him, and he's like trying to restrain himself, but like the way he does it, he looks like he's trying to stop himself from vomiting. Like oh my god, this woman's funky scent is making me sick. I don't know.
I don't know. I wonder what she smells like. I feel like she smells dirty. I don't know. Like she smells bad. She looks like something that smells bad.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. She must have showered halfway through the movie, because that's when he starts falling for her. Like just, yeah, she must have taken it to heart at some point.
I don't like Twilight. I need to say this. Like I liked it when I was like younger, but now when I watch it, and I still watch it sometimes, it's just weird. Like watching it, it's like, oh, like this is kind of cringy, but I also have to watch it because it's on. It reminds me of like childhood.
Yeah. Every teenage girl at some point wanted to be like the apple of someone's eye, you know, like she wanted the super hot dude to be obsessed with her for some reason, even if she was average as fuck.
True. I think Twilight created very unrealistic expectations for teenage girls.
Yeah, like all you,
boys.
like all you gotta do is just walk into the room, like, and the super hot guy in the corner will take notice of you, just cause, you know, like, no, that's not how that works. And not only that, but the hunky bad boy who you knew when he was a kid, like he's all like buff now. He's gonna take notice too. Like just oh shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what did you think of Jacob in the like the later movies and shit?
Hmm?
What did you think of Jacob and the whole werewolf thing?
I hated Jacob. He was
What?
just in the way most of the time. I didn't really. I don't even know. Like I feel like people put him as a good character, but he's really manipulative, and he's kind of not a good person. I think, and I feel he's very impulsive, gets angry a lot. He manipulated Bella into kissing him, and it's
I
he's
don't.
not a good character at all, and unnecessary if you ask me. Not to mention Stephanie Meyer properly destroyed the entire native law. She just took it apart and just used the parts that were good for her book, but not to mention, Taylor Lautner is not even a native person. He's white. I was shocked when I learned that. Serious cosplay because
He
he does
looks
not look
native
white
as
at
hell,
all.
doesn't he? Like he doesn't look like a white guy.
He doesn't. Who would say Taylor Lautner is a male man? Who would say? He at some point in his lineage, somebody lied. I have to say that.
Yes. Like someone had what's this jungle fever or some shit. I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. Someone had
Yeah, somebody did something.
yeah, like someone went native on us. Like just oh shit.
Yeah, for just a second or
Yeah.
whatnot. But I don't know. I hated Jacob's character, and people who chose to be on Team Jacob, like the boss guy, that kind of aesthetic. They were really into his looks. I don't know why. I kind of like the vampy, undead look a bit more. But yeah.
Yeah, the people who only show
No
up
one
on
liked-
cloudy days.
No one liked Jacob, like his actual character.
I mean, it's a stretch to say nobody, but damn.
I want to learn more about Paul, though. I feel like he's an interesting person.
Okay. Any reason why? Or just like, nah.
He's the
I
one
wanna...
that Bella slapped. And look at his reaction. I feel like he would have been a better Jacob. They should have made him Jacob. He's a bit better looking too.
He looks too... I'm not gonna lie, man. He looks kind of grown up. Like...
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, oddly enough. But, in regards to that family of Abercrombie models just running around shirtless. I love
It's
that.
kind of stupid.
I love that in the third movie when Edward sees Jacob, he asks, "Doesn't that guy own a shirt?" Like just I love that shit. Even the people in the movie are like, "Okay, this is ridiculous. Stop."
No, for real. If I didn't even know they were werewolves, I would low-key think they're strippers. And they're hiding it. No, there's some kind of club happening at La Push. Something is happening there. Nobody walks around shirtless.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of are. I mean, the fact
That's my kind of stuff. I would think something's going on.
I mean, I get it. Realistically, you would wear at least. I get that they're like, we need to wear at least amount of clothes as possible in case we transform. Because when we transform, they tear through their clothes. I get that, but it's still silly.
I'm just saying it makes more sense to just take the clothes off, because even if you wear shorts, your underwear and your shorts are still gonna rip every single time.
Yeah, that family must spend a fortune on pants. Just
exactly.
Yeah.
So just take off your clothes. Like when they transform back, obviously they're naked. They've probably seen each other naked before. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, I could see that. But still, though, I still say that the Jacob was a lot less toxic than Edward, because, yeah,
True.
he was manipulative at some points, and he was like an aggro dude, bro, in others, but he wasn't breaking into her room. He wasn't stalking her. He wasn't sniffing her stuff. He was just a guy. I mean,
True, but also the Renesmee thing is kind
okay, that was
of
creepy. That was gross. I'm not gonna lie. That was just disturbing. Just
like they tried to play off. Oh, he liked Bella because Renesmee was the one for him. You know, like it was always Renesmee,
oh, that's just
a baby
nasty.
that he basically groomed and probably got with. He did get with her probably at the end of it, and that's kind of gross.
That's gross. But on the relationship side of things, the worst kind of relationship you can have is, when you really think about it, Edward gaslit Bella. That is some straight up gaslighting right there. When you look at all of his actions, like
He did. He was a total groomer. He was an abuser. He was a manipulator. He thought himself too special, and like I don't know.
like I'm gonna make
And the
this.
whole thing about she must age and live her life and die and be with him, and like yeah, and he can continue to live in his immortal glory, while she had to go through this was also kind of
Yeah, it was pretty damn horrible though. Plus, hey, what the fuck was all that shit like when he was gone, and it was like Ghost Edward talking to her like, "Don't do this," or like just like what the fuck was that?
Doing all of that. That's a weird thing. Like he wanted to be out of her life because he thought he was going to kill her, but he still tried to manipulate her from the shadows.
That was fucked up, man. Like, just imagine if that was a legit thing. Like you go through a breakup, but every now and then the spectrum of your ex will like pop up and be like, "Don't go out with this guy. He's a loser." Like, just like stay in. Like, just,
And the whole cliff jumping scene was so stupid. It's not even funny.
that's just sad. That's encouraging people to like do stupid shit to seek attention. Like, that's not romantic. That's dangerous. You could.
Sure.
That has to be the first time a protagonist was in danger, and you're like, man, I hope she dies. Like, just, I actually do not want this movie to continue. Can she die here, please? And the rest of the movie
No,
is
for
like,
real. And that's another thing. Like he left her because he didn't want to ruin her life and just cut her off. But then he wants to kill himself, and when he found out she was dead, supposedly
Yeah.
dead. What is that supposed to be?
yeah, that is some bullshit. Just like,
He was going to die eventually. So what, you were just going to kill yourself? But you have to have like a real attachment to a person to be able to do that, to say that, you can't live without him. But then why just leave her like that? And what does that say for their relationship?
yeah. It just screams, I can't live without you, but I'm totally okay with you living without me. Like that's I don't.
Exactly. It's stupid.
Oh well. Plus
But
it
yeah, you
totally.
should watch Castlevania.
Oh well. Plus it totally riffs off Romeo and Juliet, but oh, he thought that she was dead, but not really, so he planned to kill himself, and then it totally riffs off
It
Romeo
was a
and
bit
Juliet.
like Romeo and Juliet. But I don't know. I hated Romeo and Juliet first as well. When I read it in school, it was stupid. And it's kind of, why would you make great tens which are like I think I was 15 at the time, to read a book about people who commit suicide for each other. What is that?
I'm still struggling to figure out why they made us read Great Gatsby. Like, what?
You read The Great Gatsby. I wish I read The Great Gatsby. I had to read The Life of Pi.
Oh shit, that too. I'm just
Because I actually read The Great Gatsby by myself, but The Life of Pi was something so tedious. I couldn't even. It was just believing in God propaganda. The whole message of it was, because at the end he told this fantastical story, about his journey to the policeman. Then they were like, "We don't believe you." Then he said this super realistic story. You're like, which one do we choose? So the whole point is, we can't say which story is correct, just like how you can't say if God is real or not. But what's the harm in believing if he is? That's the whole point of the book.
I said this way back when, and I stand by this point. The story of Life of Pi fails at what it sets out to do. Because
no, for real.
No, think about it. Think about it. At the beginning, the dude is like, "I've got a story that'll make you believe in God." At no point in this story was my faith reaffirmed. At no point in this story was anyone who didn't believe suddenly a believer. It was just a story. And then at the end, they were like, "Hey, honestly, believe what you want."
I just felt sad for the tiger. I was like, please just eat pie and survive. Because clearly this boy needs to die.
He wouldn't have survived long, though. I mean, to be fair.
I mean, like, when I watched the movie, I cried for the tiger. When the tiger was drowning, I was in tears. I was like, please don't die.
You're the most interesting character in this film. Don't die. Just...
No, for real.
Oh, shit.
I love animals. I hate that trope where they kill off animals in movies. Why? Like, I watched this horror movie the other day, and in it, I don't know what the ghost did, but it dropped an entire bookshelf on a cat, and the cat died. And I'm like, for what? Why you have to kill the cat? There's a child right there. Drop the bookshelf on the child.
It's the thing ghosts do.
What did the cat do to you?
Hey, the ghosts gonna do what they do. They have to mess with you before they kill you. For some reason. I don't know.
It's always the cat or the dog, though. They just want to kill them.
More often than not, a cat. Just, I don't know what it is. More often than not, it's a cat. For some reason in a horror movie.
I don't know why. I have a cat. I love my cats. Why are you doing this to me? Why can't you just haunt the people that have no pets?
Yeah. I love how those movies always start with, "The cat has gone missing. I must investigate where it went." And they hear like a mysterious noise, and they think it's the cat. They always think the mysterious noise off in the distance has to be the cat.
No, for real. Like, I watched this other thing called... It's the something. It's like the Dookie something. I don't know. It's the something like that. It's a weird Russian word, and it's making reference to the Hatman. And in it, she was looking for her cat, right? That mysteriously disappeared, as you said, and she couldn't find him. Then she went to her nephew's birthday party, and the present was the dead cat.
What was that?
And they didn't know how the cat got there, and I wanted to cry.
Is that the Babadook? Is that what it is? Like, it was so weird. I feel like the guy who wrote horror movies, I feel like the people who write horror movies just have like a fear of cats or something. Or like they're allergic or something.
But like, why the cat? Like, I don't like dogs. Maybe do it to dogs. I feel sad though.
I mean, man's best friend and all that. I mean, people...
No, listen, that is rubbish. Let me tell you something. Dogs are people pleasers. For what? They have too much trust in people. That's why they get abused. You see, cats, they don't trust no one. It takes a long time to gain their trust. And even when you gain their trust, they still turn on you. That's because they're animals of consent. That's why when I hear somebody doesn't like cats or say that cats are too unfriendly for them, I'm like, you're a red flag. That means you're very forceful with people. You don't know how to respect boundaries and respect people's space. Because it takes, not to say I respect my cat's space, because she scratches me a lot, but
Well,
but yeah.
the thing is, yeah.
I think a good pet for children, especially, are cats because it can teach them a lot about how to act with people.
Well, to the argument of why people like have a fondness for dogs, like if you got attacked, if like there was if you were walking your dog and some dude tried to accost you, the dog would attack him. If you were with your cat and some dude tried to accost you, it would probably just run or sit there and watch. Just, because cats do that too.
I did want my dog to protect me. What if he gets hurt?
Oh, then he went down doing you a favor.
I find it weird when people buy dogs for protection. Like, I feel like you're abusing them.
How are you abusing the dog, man? It's what they do. They can bite people, just at least.
That's not what they meant for.
I mean, if that were true, we wouldn't.
They're not meant to bite people. They're meant to pet.
Exactly. They are pets.
It's like animal exploitation to buy a dog for protection.
How's it exploitation? You give them a place to live, food, you pet them every now and then.
And in return, if a robber comes, it must risk its life to protect you.
Yes, bite that fool, so he doesn't come back. Like, just it's cheaper than a security system.
I guess so, but I kind of like rats.
Rats.
I've always wanted a rat. Like, listen to me. Rats are totally sociable, and they express a lot more emotion than dogs or cats. So, like, I want a rat one day.
They also spread the plague and disease and pestilence.
Hey, listen to me. That is a lie that humans made up, because humans are filthy. Rats are actually totally clean. Like, they groom themselves, and they have fewer germs in their beings than humans do. I personally think, like, when you read about proper 18th and 19th century hygiene and, health practices, those people were dirty. I need to say that. They were dirty people. They definitely spread diseases to each other. And then they blame the rats.
Yes, because there's nothing like the little furry rodent running around spreading disease and pestilence to like hang the blame on. Because I'm sure it's a coincidence that the number of rats went up the same time as the number of people getting sick. Pure coincidence.
Listen, they might carry some diseases, but I still think that maybe a lot of diseases, but I still think that humans were very dirty back in the day, and they also spread a lot of diseases. Like, let me think.
Indoor plumbing wasn't a thing back then, so yes, there was plenty of... It wasn't,
like, King Louis, I think his name is, the French king, remember? Yeah. That was married to Antoinette.
14.
He and King Henry were both known for very messy castles. Like, they would party the whole day, literally, and that place would be disgusting. Like, there was no lavatories. People used to do their business in the corners, just pee anywhere. And then they would move to another castle or another residence while people cleaned that area. So I think that humans were dirty enough to spread diseases to each other back in the day. They still do, but like, yeah.
Yep.
And the amount of diseases that were carried in feces and urine. So yeah.
It didn't help that the Dark Ages were some filthy times, the time the plague was going on, but still.
The plague was a bad thing,
It,
but like it mostly affected peasant people, so I don't think the rich people were very concerned.
they were concerned when their servants stopped showing up to work. That's,
True.
yeah. Then it became a problem.
I read this weird thing right the other day. And it was about spices because like this person brought up like why is it, like India was colonized by a lot of white countries and they brought a lot of spices over and like why is like white food not flavorful? And to be honest, white people did that to themselves purposely because when peasants started having access to spices, which was supposed to be an exclusive thing, the rich were like, no, we don't want to be like the peasants. We want to eat differently. We want to be special. And we think that the best food is food in its natural form with nothing else. So let's just boil the chicken and eat it.
I mean, it
So
does.
yeah,
It
I
does
think
have.
that's kind of funny how they did that to themselves. And that just became popular, not to eat food with seasoning. Eat, yeah.
Yeah, you get that Chris Hemsworth steamed chicken diet. Just.
Uh,
I mean,
I remember that. Yeah, that's the thing, right? A lot of bodybuilders and stuff eat a lot of chicken, and that's okay. But like spices like chili powder and those kinds of things don't have calories in it. It's literally just flavoring. It literally adds no nutrients, and it doesn't do anything bad to your body. So I really don't understand why they don't add it to their food.
yeah, it would make give me shit for all the these Marvel movies about this. Yeah, I like Marvel. They're practically playing up too. Or they would be if my videos got views. But still. What was I saying?
I like Marvel, but like, I don't know. I
Did you
prefer DC.
good? You down for the dark and gritty aesthetics?
Exactly. It's more realistic. It speaks to the dark parts of human nature. It's great.
Yeah. Have you seen that Wonder Woman 84?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what did you think about that whole Steve Trevor thing? Her bringing back her boyfriend in some dude's body.
It was kind of like, I don't know. Like sometimes I think she was very mentally ill in that movie. I'm gonna be honest. She was grieving. She still had love for this person that passed away, and I think she did come to terms with it. But like, I don't know. It's kind
Seems
of
kind of rapey, if I'm
yeah,
being honest. Just
yeah. It's kind of like yeah,
you used some random man as a human dildo, like
yeah. Like
just
nobody would really enjoy that. Like if my body was taken over to bring some lost soul back, I'll be very angry about it.
yeah.
I mean, what happens to that soul now? Does it stay in there? Does it leave? So is that person just like a dead body? You just a dead soul now?
Is that guy
It's
just
kind of
dead
gross.
now? Yeah, just that definitely. If
Like I like Wonder Woman, but like okay, wait, I don't really like Wonder Woman. I'm not gonna lie because
whoa,
like remember like the first Wonder Woman comics that came out and how it was really corn-esque.
she got tied up a lot.
Yeah, like what was that about?
The writer was horny. That's the only way I could describe it. The writer was horny. It's just He had a BDSM thing.
But like, I don't know, like I love Wonder Woman's design. I love her lore and everything about it. Like an island full of women that learn to kill people. Amazing. That is peak plot right there. But yeah. It's just those parts of Wonder Woman that just don't sit right with me.
Yeah, you don't like how in the movies Wonder Woman is. Yeah. You don't appreciate
Overall,
Wonder Woman
and
being
Gal Gadot is kind
digmatized.
of hot, so
I'm gonna be honest.
she's so Israel.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I don't think much of Gal Gadot. Like, she's too much like a model. She has too much of like. I don't know. I thought she was too skinny to be Wonder
So
Woman. She doesn't have
I
enough
guess they
muscle.
could have chose somebody more muscular
Yeah.
and somebody that fit more the part of a demigod, like because it's obviously if you're a demigod that's trained your whole life to fight and do all of these things, you're not going to look like a petite supermodel all the
Yes.
time.
That woman does not look like she spent like hundreds of years sword fighting. Like, she was like she's never picked up a sword in her life. Just,
Yeah,
but yeah.
true.
Oh shit. Which is weird because like she used to be in the army. So like I mean Gal Gadot used to be in the army, so it's weird that her figure is like this. So
I don't know. Maybe she walks out a lot. Maybe she did too many late days.
yeah, seems that way. I don't appreciate like how in the comics Wonder Woman is this iconic, strong, feminine character, and in the movies she's basically digmatized, just totally head over heels for this one dude she met 80 years ago. Just
That's weird.
yeah. And in full disclosure, she only knew him like a week, so this is some bullshit.
She really did only know him for a week.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I get that people trauma bond and they did go through a lot of traumatic events together, but, like, how deep is it really?
Yeah.
He was one guy. She's saying that she didn't meet anybody remarkable in the 100 years she lived.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. He's the first man you've ever seen, but come on.
There's better versions.
There are way better dudes out there, you know. Just saying. Chris Pine's.
Especially with him.
Yeah.
He wasn't the best guy.
Yeah. Chris Pine is great, but.
He was actually
I'm
kind of
sorry. He's pretty average, dude. It's just. Yeah. Oh, wow. What was I gonna say? With the circling back to the point of origin of this conversation, what did you think about the end, like those Breaking Dawn movies? Oh, before we get to the end, Bella getting pregnant and like having a vampire baby, was that weird for you?
It was weird, especially because the vampire baby came out looking like that. I don't know why they had this need to give her a baby, and that's a stupid trope that I hate. That that the only way they can complete women's stories or have them have a fulfilled storyline is by giving them a child. What is that? Clearly, from Bella's past history, the way she acts, she's not very mother material. I don't even think she should be allowed to be responsible for a child. When she's jumping off cliffs and getting depressed because her boyfriend isn't there. So.
Yeah. And she got fucking depressed in that movie. Holy shit. Like, she was just curled up in bed for days on end. There was a shot that showed the seasons passing as she sat in the chair just looking out the window. Like, fuck, lady, he didn't die. He just left.
Exactly. Person worthy of having a child, no.
Oh, man.
I just feel that she's not so in control of herself, so she shouldn't really be allowed to be in control of the child. But like, to each their own. I don't know why Stephanie Meyer decided to give her a child. I feel like clearly Bella was after different things in life. She just wanted to be a vampire with Edward, and that should have been the end of the story right there.
Yeah. Now she's a vampire with Edward and a
come up
rapid.
with another reason for the conflict between the Cullens and the Volturi. It's like, you know,
They wanted to.
I mean, they didn't really like the Cullens.
You know that the studio, the studio that made the Twilight movies wanted to make more movies, which is going to be kind of impossible because there's no more books. So.
Well, there's always Midnight Sun. Did you read it?
No.
I read it.
And?
It's in Edward's point of view.
Wait.
And
Wait.
it's just tedious.
So,
it's mainly him just talking about how he just wants to kill them.
you telling me they just rewrote all these stories from Edward's point of view?
Yeah.
It's
basically Twilight, but in Edward's point of view. Like from the very beginning when he met her at home.
No, it's basically 50 Shades, because that's what they did with the 50 Shades books. They once the book finished, the writer just wrote them again, but this time it's from the dude's point of view. It's like the first one was called 50 Shades of Grey, but from his view it's just called Grey. And then the next one was 50 Shades Darker, from his view it's just called Darker, or whatever.
It's kind of stupid.
It's lazy. Jesus.
It is kind of lazy.
Yeah, because what new thing can you add? Like okay, first time around we
another story.
Yeah, it's the same story. I mean, at the end of the day, you're telling the same story.
The same universe.
Man. Oh wow. It's unless it shows like, oh hey, this is what the character was up to when he wasn't on screen. You're not really adding anything new.
True, but like I'm just saying, in the sense of Twilight, right? There's so many couples. There's literally so many. You couldn't do an Alice and Jasper one, or even a Carlisle and Esme one, because Carlisle and Esme's story is kind of cute.
For real.
Yeah, she was in a horrible marriage and she was going to kill herself, and Carlisle stopped her and was like, I can give you immortality. Or she tried to kill herself and then he found out. I'm not sure which one.
Didn't she kill her husband? Like bust into his room or something? I remember she said like, oh, I used to be very dramatic back then. Like just... Where's that movie? Can we see that one, please? This movie kind of sucks.
She's wasting time, if you ask me.
But she's probably raking in a ton of money. I mean...
True, because people are eating that up. Like, look at me, I bought the book just to read it.
Yeah, that's definitely... Oh, man. Hey, did you hear that, you know Jennifer Lawrence from The Hunger Games, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear that she said before The Hunger Games there were no female-led action movies?
Let me think about this. No, there wasn't.
That's bullshit. There were plenty of female-led action movies. Like, have you not seen Kill Bill? Like,
okay, wait, yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's a female-led action movie. Just saying.
Yeah, but like it doesn't include the male gaze.
So, it still counts. I mean,
it doesn't count. Listen, Divergent is not the male gaze.
It does. It freaking counts.
Sorry, the Hunger Games.
The main character is a female, and she's driving the story. It counts. It's a female-led action story. I mean, what's this?
Fine.
Oh, what's this? Ghost in the Shell? I mean, not the Scarlett Johansson one. I mean, I get it, it's an anime, but still, it counts. It's there too. Um,
I guess so, but like we can't count anime because anime is in a league of its own.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Because like if you have to count anime, there's many female leads.
Oh yeah. There's
Like
way.
many, like literally.
Yeah. I mean, granted, they're not all, uh, what's the name? Major from Ghost in the Shell, but yeah, there's plenty of them.
Not to mention Ergo Proxy
And that chick was
and
Aeon Flux. Yeah.
oh exactly. Aeon Plus, what else? Bloodseed. There's a whole lot of things.
There's a lot of them. They are way more than this woman thinks. You know, just um. Oh,
But like
yeah.
I get that Hunger Games was kind of like different because it was how do I say this? It was kind of breaking a ceiling because they would like Percy Jackson, for example, Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, things that were in that category were just all male led. So I guess it was kind of breaking a ceiling.
Yes, we can make shitty fantasy movies too.
Exactly. And then came Divergent, which
Oh,
was also
this
female led.
the story with no ending. Just
I hated Divergent. Not to mention, isn't that kind of bullshit that Tris dies and then Four marries Christina? What is that?
I don't know what to say on that front. Just
I'm just saying, like, they were supposed to be so in love and together. Like, it would make sense if he killed himself after she died.
what a
But like
180.
he said, okay,
Yeah.
I'm moving on to something better now. Goodbye.
What a 180 you've done. Where like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago you were like, it's ridiculous that this person would think to kill themselves because they thought someone was God. And now you're like, oh, dude totally should have killed himself in this movie. You know, like,
I'm just saying it's better than what he did.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, literally, he just got over Tris and was like, I'm moving on. Goodbye.
That
Was annoying.
happens. It happens in like, you know, fantasy stories and whatnot. People just get over it every now and then. I mean, when the story calls for them
If
to.
I die and no one and if the person I was got over it, I would haunt them. And the future person they're with and their baby, if they ever had one. It would be a never-ending cycle of terror and horror for them.
That's unnecessarily mean right there.
I am mean.
No, but like, if they like, you know, mourn you for some time and then they move on,
No.
you'd still come out and be like, blah, why are you getting married? It's just,
I will pull out some Grudge stuff. Have you ever watched The Grudge?
yes.
That's what we mean.
Yeah,
That will be me right there. That lady with the blue skin and the long hair, that's me. That's what I'll do to him.
You're gonna be crawling out of TVs and shit. Yeah, you're not a clum. You don't just do things for the sake of doing them.
I'm very intentional about what I want to do.
I didn't know that was a word, by the way. Did you know there was a word for that? Like, did you know that clum was actually a word for someone who does things for the sake of doing them? Like, that's actually a word for that. I didn't know that till 2017. That just... No, because
I don't know.
I saw this dude, and he calls this other guy, he's like talking, and then he calls him a clum. Like, what? Did he say clown? No, he said a clum. Like, what the fuck is a clum? It's a dude who does shit just to do shit. It's not really, without any rhyme or reason. So, like, and people get offended by that. Even if they don't know what it means, they'll get offended, like, you called me this derogatory word. I have no idea what it means, but I know it's bad. Just...
Because people are quick to offend.
Yeah.
They I don't know. People just wake up and choose violence every day. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And
Human
yeah.
beings are actually kind of silly.
Human beings are really silly. What do you mean kinda? We're a lot of silly, man.
Yeah, except me though.
Ouch.
Sorry, I think a lot of myself.
Yeah, we can yeah, could decipher that much. What was I gonna say? Hey, circling back to the original topic again. What did you think of that ending? With the fake out dream sequence.
Like, that's stupid. That's all I'm gonna say. The ending of Twilight was stupid, and that whole vision with Renee on that beach with, a groomer husband and a pedophile dad who groomed her mother. It's kind of gross.
Yes. Would you say
It's kind of
Twilight?
funny.
Yeah. You think Twilight is more fucked up than 50 Shades, or are they the same?
I think they really both in their own category of effed up, but like I don't know, 50 Shades of Grey. Like, I watched the first movie. I didn't watch the others. I'm not gonna lie. My friends did. They were obsessed with Christian Grey. Like, I get his, gay-looking man. He's not like ugly. He's kind of good-looking, but he's not like the best-looking man. Like, I could name like 100 more. So I don't understand why people were so obsessed with him. And Anastasia, I think that was her name. I'm not sure.
Yes.
I don't know. Her actress, I like her actress. But like, I really don't know. Like, the first movie was effed up. I'm not sure about the others, but like, I watched it because everybody was watching it, and I thought, like, my friend said you need to watch it, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it for you. And then I was like disturbed by it. And not to say that I'm judging anybody, because I'm not king shaming, because I respect everybody, but like, he was cringe while doing it, I have to say.
Yes, the guy with an entire room full of whips and chains and bondage gear was cringy. Just that's the main takeaway from that.
He was cringe. He was also kind of toxic, but also that added to his cringiness.
I mean,
And he was manipulative and a bit abusive, but at the end of the day, she was also a consenting adult.
yeah.
Sure, I think he hid the details of who he really was with people that signed that contract, but like, at the end of the day, I really don't know who to blame.
I mean, say what you want about Christian Grey, but unlike Edward, he was up front from the beginning. He had a
He
contract and
really was.
everything. He was up front with it. Like, yeah. Unlike that shady motherfucker. Just straight up lying and, sniffing clothes and stuff. I cannot get over that. Like, he's stuck into a room to sniff her stuff. That is disturbing.
That's kind of disturbing, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Prison Grey. And at the end of the day, she was a consenting adult. Nala was 17 when that happened, and Edward was like 100 and something. So in terms of that, I actually think Twilight is worse. It's just Twilight is told with rose-tinted glasses, and 50 Shades is not.
Yeah.
So that kind of hides the fact that it's kind of...
Plus, it helps that 50 Shades originally started out as Twilight fanfiction.
For real.
Yeah. The writer straight up said that she wrote it on her Blackberry. It was originally supposed to be fanfiction for Twilight.
No, it really, like, when you read Stephanie Meyer's books, it doesn't like sound like fan fiction. It's like not like serious writing.
Yeah. I mean, but it does have like a fanfiction-y vibe to it in that
It's
these,
like Wattpad.
yeah.
It's like Wattpad.
Yeah.
Remember Wattpad? How it it used to be. Those were good days, I have to admit. I have to admit.
Before or after the slash fiction started coming in? Just
You know what? I don't mind slash fiction. I'm not
really,
gonna lie.
there are some good ones out there.
But like, I just remember being like 14, you know, on those nights reading fan fiction. Those are the best nights.
I am so glad I cannot empathize. For one time, I'm like, thank goodness I have no idea what that's like. Just not to shade you or anything. I don't kick shame here. Just say. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Thoughts on the Volturi as in general, you know?
Of the what?
You know the Volturi, you know Marcus and them. What did you think about them in general?
I like the idea of the Volturi. I just think that it could have been worked on more, could be more established, could have gone more into the lore of it. But again, the focus was more on Edward and Bella, which was kind of stupid. But anyway, the Volturi was, I don't know, they were like powerful and power hungry, but they also wanted to keep things under wraps. Like, I don't know. But I like that they had like an established government and weren't just these primitive creatures that hunt humans. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I get like the Volturi is all mysterious and like, you know, they have like this dark aesthetic, this Italian aesthetic, and they're all, you know, otherwise recruited to be in it, and they're all talented and yeah, but like I don't know, like I think it's kind of unnecessary for the book Twilight, especially because it's Bella and Edward. But if they focus more on the Volturi, it would have been unnecessary. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like that they're not all the same. You know, I just like that Marcus is the guy that's like, you know, like here we get on with this already. I'm getting sick of this shit. Like there has to be that one guy, you know, to really balance everything out. I appreciate that. You know, he's basically the audience at that point because if you've been sitting through this long, even you're like, man, can we be done with this already? Jesus. Oh, but yeah.
The Volturi, it's kind of, I guess that they're very old, but like, I don't know, like, are they going to be the heads of the Volturi forever? Like, aren't they getting sick of it already? Like, they're pretty old. I feel like Aro and them were like, they are pretty old, maybe like close to 500 years old. So, I don't know. Maybe there should be a way for successions to be made.
I mean, it's not like they vote on it or anything. You don't have like vampire elections or something.
Well, maybe they should.
Though, be honest, that would be the most interesting, like democratic process ever. Like, just
No, for real, there'd be like a party that was like, we can coexist with humans. There can be equality between vampire kind and humankind. And the other one would be like, no, humans are feeding back.
that's basically just Harry Potter. You know that prequel. What's this? Crimes of Grindelwald. That's basically that. Because you have like Dumbledore and them being like, no, we can coexist with the peeps.
That's something that's weird, guys. Like I was talking to somebody about HarryPotter once, and I was trying to explain, like, it's kind of like it's speaking about the Holocaust, about racism, because it's like the same trope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this person like wasn't hearing me, and that just shows how unhighlighted the whole thing was about mudbloods and Voldemort's plight. You know what I mean? I think they could have done more work, but you know it's J.K. Rowling, so what can you expect?
Do you like the Harry Potter prequels?
Sorry?
Do you like the Harry Potter prequels? I mean, have you seen them?
I mean, I watched them, but I don't really like them.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. They're missing something. They don't have that sense of wonder that the originals have. You know, like there was like a joy to be found watching those movies. But in these prequels, it's like, I mean, I don't give a shit about wizard politics. Let's be honest. I don't give a shit about wizard politics. So I don't want an entire movie about who's gonna be the head of all wizards and how they're gonna decide that. Like, and they don't even vote.
But you know what?
It's like a magic sheep who comes up and picks who's in charge. That's just
I
wow.
get that they also trying to, because you know a lot of us that like watch Harry Potter, we grew up with it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess that they're trying to be more serious now that a lot of Harry Potter fans are a lot older now.
I get that. But I still just want to see magic and shit. I still want to see wizards blasting the fuck out of each other with spells like they're throwing
True.
bombs, you know?
You know they're coming up with that new game called Hogwarts Legacy, and people are like on the bands of it because like it's J.K. Rowling. They don't want to support her, but like it's also a really cool game. Like I watched the trailer for it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
You can like kind of choose your path. Like you can choose your house you want to be in. You can actually design your character, and you can like make decisions to to choose a good path or a bad or a dark wizard, basically.
If they really wanted to nail the Hogwarts, experience, they wouldn't let you choose your house. They would let you design your character, and then based on the choices you made, the Sorting Hat tells you which house you go
There should be
to.
like a little like a questionnaire with the taxes on you, you know?
Yeah. Like you fill out the questionnaire, and then the Sorting Hat tells you, okay, you're going to the Ravenclaw or something, you know?
Like how they have on Potter.
Yeah.
What house are you in?
Me? Oh, I'm in Ravenclaw. I did a test and everything.
I'm in Southern. It makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I kind of want to be in Ravenclaw because I think I'm really smart, but like they were like, you're also kind of cunning, you know?
Yes, very much so. Also,
I think Slytherins and Ravenclaws are similar.
Can I just point out the sorting of the Sorting Hat? Like, that's kind of a dumb idea. Let's take all the bad kids and let's put them in one house. That'll work out fine, right?
Yeah, that's something that it's also weird because, like, J.K. Rowling could have worked on that because, let's be honest, the only two houses that were highlighted was Gryffindor and Slytherin, and because of that, there was a good evil dynamic that was furthered, you know what I mean? Because they did focus on the actual qualities of each house. But because, like, not every Slytherin is evil. Like, look at Slughorn. No one would say he's a Slytherin because they all think of Slytherins as evil or conniving.
Yeah. If I had to explain it, it would be like all the goody two shoes and like the kids who get high marks are in Gryffindor. All the stoners and those people are in Hufflepuff. The rich kids go to Slytherin, and Ravenclaw is just like everyone else. Like everyone who's left goes there.
Yeah, but it's actually supposed to be like Gryffindor is the brave and loyal, the people that are loud. Slytherin is supposed to be the people that are more cunning and ambitious and want to do things in life and are not about doing anything to get to that point. Ravenclaw is supposed to be smart. Actually, they actually mention that Ravenclaw is actually very competitive around each other and they have bad relationships with each other compared to Slytherin. So that's cool.
Yeah. If only we would see more of that. Anyway, I really have to pee right about now, so I gotta go. Final thoughts.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we head out?
Oh, not really. That Twilight is just, it's more about nostalgia than the actual quality of it.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, and
I'll see you then. Oh yeah, you are asking me, sorry.
I was saying that, and Edward is definitely way creepier than Christian Grey from 50 Shades, and
He
that's
really
saying a
is.
lot. So, yeah. Anyway, it's been good talking to
That's
you.
yeah.
See you around.
Okay, see you, bye.
Time, I tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared I walk a straight path. Not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb.